Welcome back to the Making It podcast, and today is another special day because you've got another Making It Moments episode. I'm with Jay Dean, also known as DJ Akonite. Now, I'm used to seeing DJ Akonite behind the decks, but today he's in my living room. It's a new setting for the podcast. How are you, Jay?
I'm very well, mate. How are you?
I'm really good, man. The sun's out. It's been beautiful weather recently.
It has been, mate. Yeah, it's been great.
But let's jump straight into it. So, Jay wants to get into DJing, and I think when it comes to being a DJ, obviously you'll know more than me.
Yeah.
Some people do it for a bit of fun. Some do it because they really want to make it.
Yeah.
In terms of your sort of role as a DJ,
Yeah.
did it start off as a hobby? Did it start off as something you kind of just wanted to do for a bit of fun? Or is it something you really see as a career path?
So when I first started out, when I was like 15, 16, I just saw it as fun. I didn't really think it would go anywhere. It was like a hobby in my room because I like the music. I love garage and house. And I was just watching people just do nothing. Do that TV series.
See, I've never actually watched it.
It's,
What
it's
is
about
that
these
about?
like these Muppets that run a pirate radio station, and it's just like a mockumentary, and it's quite funny. But it got me into it.
In what way did that TV show get you
I
into?
don't know. I think it was just like the music. I really fell in love with the music while they were playing. They were playing like old school garage and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and I just got into it from that. But yeah, when I first started out, I didn't think anything would come from it, and then I found out about confetti. Have you heard of confetti college? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I know a few people that are gone.
And to be fair, I wasn't really the best in school. I wasn't very academic, and I was like, you know what, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So I did a 2-year college course for that. And in them 2 years, I really fell in love with like music and music production and like making music as well as DJing. And I sort of, after that, that was it. And then I went on to do my degree, which I do a sound and music engineering degree.
Yeah, so speak to me about the degree because it's a very practical thing being
Yeah,
a DJ. So
yeah.
what sort of stuff have you done with your degree which does kind of benefit you? Because obviously it is quite practical, it's an experience sort of thing. What in your degree has benefited you?
So you learn about the industry a lot because the music industry is a bit of a tricky industry. You learn a lot about that, how it works, networking, and you learn about just how producers work, how to produce
Yeah.
properly, and like just industry standard.
Do you get a lot of guest speakers coming in?
Yeah. I've had a lot of people. I've had Window Kid come in
Oh
before.
yeah. My
Yeah,
mate loves Window Kid.
yeah, he's funny. But yeah, Window Kid. We've had a few others. Like there's a rapper called Snowy, and he's quite big in Nottingham. We've had quite a few big speakers come in. I think we had there was like an industry week, and we had a Fumes the engineer do a guest
Oh yeah.
speech there, and it was wicked. Yeah, if you want to become a DJ or producer, it's the course to do.
Yeah, so you know how you've had these guest speakers come in,
Yeah,
and I know you watch just people just do nothing, and that kind of sparked your interest in it.
yeah.
But when these guest speakers come in, has there been, even outside of guest speakers, but just people in general, has there been a certain person, maybe another DJ, someone that's kind of hit the mark for you, really inspired you to get into it, giving you that sort of kick in your journey?
So my good friend Ryan, his stepdad is also a DJ.
Yeah.
He's quite a big DJ. DJ's out in Ibiza every summer, and I've done a lot of collaborations with Ryan. And I used to go over to his house, and his stepdad would really like influenced me a lot and pushed me, gave me a drive, and yeah, just helped me out massively with my journey, as well as recently in the summer, last summer, got in touch with Philip George.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and yeah, I asked to just play on one of his events because I saw he was promoting an event at the Garage Chill, where it was like a warehouse rave, and then he got me on the lineup, and after that, I've just been speaking to him and it's just about networking in the industry, especially music industry. It's networking and like getting to know people. But yeah, I'd say my mate's stepdad, Ryan's stepdad, is a massive like benefit and help with my path. As with Philip George, like, he's taught me a lot of stuff. Sort of took me under his wing for a bit, and then yeah.
So how did you reach out to Philip George?
I saw he was promoting an event online on Instagram and social media, and I was like, I'll just send him a message because I saw he was sort of like doing a rebrand because he had like a massive hit ages ago, like "Wish
Yeah.
You Were Mine," and I think he went a bit like he went a bit under the
Under the cuffs.
he went a bit under for a bit, and yeah, he sort of saw he was making a comeback and he was sort of getting back out there again. And I was like, I should shoot him a message. It'd be a good idea to potentially get chatting with him, learn some stuff from him. And luckily, I managed to get into an event with him. And after that, I've been playing with him. I've played with him at Kelowna a few times, and yeah.
That's also see that sort of experience, like because I looked a little bit before we started this pod, and I
Yeah,
seen he had like 1.5 million monthly listeners. Like he's
yeah.
clearly quite a well-known DJ.
He's
So
established.
when you're doing something alongside a well-known DJ,
Yeah.
do you ever feel feelings like imposter syndrome? Do you ever feel like, wow, like I'm actually here? Do you ever question it at all? You know,
Yeah,
when you're in that sort of position.
yeah, massively. Like, it's not, I don't know how I've got here. I sometimes think like I don't know how I've got myself into this. I'm pretty buzzing, but yeah, it's a bit intimidating. Obviously, like it's like celebrity in my eyes,
Yeah.
like quite surreal. But yeah, I do sometimes get it, but like after a while, I sort of got to know him a bit, and I saw him just as a friend, as a mate, more than anything.
So it's like I always go back to that, and we speak about it on this podcast all the time. But that sort of like idea of connection,
Yeah,
like having that connection with someone is massive. But
yeah,
in terms of I want to dive into a bit. So obviously you've done well with your networking. You've done a few sets. So Kaluna's, which for context for the listeners, that's a place in Nottingham. It's quite a good little DJ spot.
yeah.
And
It's
it's a
just a little house bar.
nice little area. But in terms of the production of your music,
Yeah,
so obviously you say you've been doing it from about 15, 16 years old.
yeah.
What sort of development has come through in your production? So speak to me about when you first started out. How were you making music?
So I just make it on my laptop. I use a software called Ableton, and I'll just when I first started, I was pretty rubbish. I was obviously you're not gonna be good at the
Yeah,
start. Uh, yeah, I was just making anything. Like I'd come home from work and I'd just be like, I'll mess around with my laptop for a bit. And sort of over time, I started watching videos. I wanted to get like more into it, and I was listening to songs, and I was like, right, that sounds good. I want to try replicate that, try and use some of these elements. And I used to well, I still do it now. I make a lot of remixes. I do a lot of edits. And I put my own influence on other tracks. But yeah, at the start, you just gotta, it's building. You gotta keep at it. You can't just be good at something straight away.
yeah,
Like anything in life, it doesn't work like that. You can't just be good at something straight away. You gotta keep at it. And it's taken me at least, well, where I am now, I'm 20. I started out at 16, so it's taken me 4 years to get at my level, and I'm still nowhere near
yeah.
the level I want to be at. Like it's just, yeah, it's like a plant. The more you water it, it will grow.
Exactly, bro. But that sort of process, have you ever had like sort of like doubts? You know, when maybe it's been a few times, you don't feel like you feel like maybe you ever had like a moment where you're a bit stationary, you're a bit stuck in the music you're making, you're not really getting out of that creative sort of like,
Yeah,
do you know what I
it's,
mean, mess?
yeah. It's like well, in we call it a writer's block.
Yeah,
So when you're struggling, like obviously you can't be creative all the time, and it does run out. And yeah, it's just called a writer's block. And when I'm facing one of them, I just go out in nature, go on a walk, have a little break from it, go for like a week or two, and
yeah,
then coming back at it. But yeah, there's definitely been points where I've been like thinking, oh, this isn't really working, or should I be doing this, or I could be doing something better with my time. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's what I love to do. If I want to do it, I'm just gonna keep good. I'm gonna keep at it.
yeah. And when you say you love to do it, man, I think
Yeah,
with DJing, I mean, obviously I can't really relate to being a DJ, but you know when you put the good song on the aux and you're with your mates, and
yeah,
everyone's buzzing about it.
yeah,
You know when you're a DJ and
yeah,
you're so for more context, there's a bar in Nottingham called Kookamarras. That's where I've often seen Jay. I'll go up behind and be like, Jay's behind the decks. And it's fair, my favourite nights in Kookamarras have been when you're DJing. But you know when you see people like reacting to your songs and
yeah,
reacting to the music you're putting out and the mixes you're putting out.
yeah.
Describe that feeling for
Oh,
me.
it's a very surreal feeling. Like, I feel I can't explain the feeling. It's just
Yeah,
it's a very rewarding feeling I feel when um I get complimented on my music. I see people sharing or reposting or whatever about my music. It's a very rewarding, filling feeling. Yeah, that's about it really. It's a wicked feeling. I can't really explain it.
yeah.
It's just
It's tough one, man. With feelings like that, I know what you mean. It's almost indescribable. Do
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? But
yeah,
you know, in those sort of tough moments where you, like you say, you're getting a bit of a writer's block and you're
yeah,
taking your time off,
yeah,
does it almost feel like that feeling brings you back every time, or like is it quite important that sort of feeling,
yeah.
that love for it, that passion, that connection to people and wanting to make people have a good night or feel special?
Yeah, it's a very good surreal feeling. Yeah, you do want it, you do crave it sometimes.
Yeah,
But just gonna go back to the start. Like you just remember why you started, and I fell in love with it. I just want to do it because I enjoy doing it and love it. So yeah, it's yeah,
yeah. So Is it Nottingham uni you go to?
I go to Trent.
Trent, Nottingham Trent.
Nottingham Trent.
So how have you found that experience, like staying locally? Because obviously you grew up here.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had a moment where you kind of thought, oh, I could have gone to a different city to do it, maybe network a bit more? Like, obviously you've done it in your home place.
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
I feel like it's benefited me more because I know more people around here. But there is points where I do wish I went up to another university, such as like Leeds or Newcastle, like yourself.
Yeah.
But I think staying in Nottingham's benefited me for my career and journey because of how familiar I am with the place and the people. And yeah, I feel just more comfortable in my own town, if that makes sense, in my own city. Yeah.
What's been, because let's list off some of the places you've done in Nottingham. So you've done Kookamarras, you've done Kalunas, you've done Nottingham Secret Garden.
Yeah.
Where else have you done? Or is that the three?
That's I've done Stealth. That's about it.
But they're four. That's about it. But they're four the biggest places I think of when it comes to like being a DJ. So obviously Kookas at 18 was kind of, you say, the kickstart of your sort of journey in a way, really.
Yeah, massively, yeah.
How did you get that role at Kookas?
So to be fair, I was going in there when I was underage. I was going in there when I was 17. I shouldn't be
DJing or just drinking?
No, just drinking with my mates. And then I think I was at the bar and I was just like, I'll shoot my shot and ask the manager. I asked the manager and he was like, yeah, we'll get you on. And sort of next month I was 18 anyway. So I sort of waited until I turned 18. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And so sort of sent in my availability. And then from there, that was it. And yeah, massive, like, that's where it all started, really. Yeah.
And then from Kookas, what was next? What place was next after Kookas?
I've always stayed at Kooks, but like there was always places I wanted to try and DJ at. After that, it was Kaluna. I did Kaluna a few times in my second year, and then during the second year as well, I did Secret Garden most weekends, and it was every Tuesday as well. They did like a student night, but it was called like for a company called Lemonade Bangs, and they were like a rave company in Nottingham for students. And yeah, I was doing Secret Garden Kaluna in my second year as well as Kookamarra.
And then when was your Stealth appearance?
Oh, that was when I was 8. I think I just turned 18 as well. That was for like the end of year college thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was wicked there.
So I know a couple people who are trying to get into DJing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult trying to find these sort of places. And like you say, you kind of shoot your shot. You know, you can never go wrong with asking.
Yeah.
But what would you say to someone, like, if you had to go back and speak to yourself when you were trying to find, not work, I guess it is work.
Yeah, it is work.
Yeah, when you were trying to find experience, what would you say to your younger self in that sort of position?
Just be very friendly, just be chatty, be open, and sort of don't force it. Just sort of build a relationship with the person, and the manager or the events person or whatever. And just be upfront. I wouldn't. To be fair, I wouldn't text them. I wouldn't just fling them a message on Instagram or whatever. I'd sort of go in person and talk to them, get to know them.
Yeah.
Sort of almost build a relationship, like a friendship with them, and then ask about potentially getting on.
Yeah. So you wouldn't necessarily think it's a good way to kind of cold call it on social media?
No, I
wouldn't actually connect with them in real life.
Yeah, because it shows like you're more of an upfront person. It shows that you're more eager if you show your face in person.
Yeah.
And it sort of gives them more of a better idea of you.
Yeah.
Like they can see what they're working with. So yeah, I wouldn't shoot them a shot, because anyone can just shoot a shot on Messenger or social media.
It takes a bit more balls to do it in person.
Exactly.
See, I seen on your Instagram the other day, and I think I shared it or commented. But so this event you've got with Philip George, is that what you put on your Instagram the other day? The one with DJ Akonite?
Oh, that's for Groovebox.
Okay, so speak to me about this Groovebox opportunity, because when I saw, for context, DJ Akonite is I would say recently has been a bit of an up-and-coming DJ.
Yeah.
I first saw her in Newcastle in the underground.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like,
she was good.
Amazing, bro, really good.
I've not seen her.
Really? You've not heard of her before?
I've seen her. I've heard of her. I've heard her music, but I've never seen her
live. Yeah. Well, she's done stuff with Sammy Virgin and everything.
Yeah,
she's brilliant. But how did you get that opportunity with Groovebox?
Right. So I was at Kookamarra. It was a random Monday night, and a rep, someone who worked for Groovebox, who did like their advertisement, was in there at the time. There was no one in there. It was just her and her mates. There was literally 3 people in there, and I was just playing sort of the music I like to play because it was dead, and I was playing just house and whatever. And she liked what she heard, and she came up to me and asked for my social media, my Instagram, and said I should go put a word in for a manager. And it turns out she worked for Groovebox, and that's quite one of the biggest rave companies in Nottingham at the moment. Yeah, and through that, literally got chatting with the bloke, and Philip George also knows the owner of Groovebox, and he put in a good word for me.
Yeah.
And from there, that's how I got it. And
Yeah.
said, "Oh, do you fancy playing on the 4th of May for owning Fatso and DJ Oppadan?" Like warming up, I'm like, hell yeah,
Mate, that's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait, mate.
So, in terms of the build up to doing something like that,
Yeah,
you know, when you do something new, I don't know, maybe today coming and doing the podcast, like it's something new, you sort of get that sort of like, it's a new feeling, new
Yeah.
nerves. How do you kind of deal with that sort of feeling before doing a new experience like that? Kind of bring yourself to kind of like a ground level, kind of make yourself comfortable and confident before going on stage. Because how are you with going on stage? You know what I mean?
Well, I used to be quite nervous, but I think 'cause I do it so much, I DJ like three, 4 times a week now. Well, I have been for the last year. I sort of don't get as nervous, but I think for Groovebox, I will be a bit intimidated by the crowd because there'll be a fair few people there. It's Binks Yard, it's quite a big gaff. So I sort of, before I go on, I do a lot of breathing exercises, like sort of just calm down, slow the heart rate down a bit. But it's when you mix that first song in, when you do your first transition, you're away and you're
Yeah.
fine and you're with it. But yeah, it is a bit intimidating, like walking up to the decks and stuff. Depends where you are though. Like something like Kukumara, I wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be cacking myself. For Kaluna, I'm all right, but like yeah, something like Kukumara, I do it too much. But Groovebox, yeah, I will be a bit nervous, but it's just about I think breathing exercises really help me
Yeah.
personally
Yeah.
before I go on.
Do you ever drink when you're DJing?
At Kukumara, sometimes, yeah.
You ever took it too far?
Yeah, there has been times at Kukumara, may have had one too many leg wobblers, mate. Yeah, but like but I like to think I'm better when I'm drunk, but I'm probably not. Probably not.
You think it in the moment.
Yeah, yeah, oh, this is
So like,
sick,
nah.
mate. Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah, probably not me. But yeah, I tend to have one or two, but like not many. You don't want to be masticated before you
You
get
ever
one.
had any like interesting experiences with like people who have come and obviously everyone's drunk in a bar, really.
Yeah.
You ever had anyone coming up, and I'm not saying me coming up and saying that, but anyone coming up to the DJ decks and sort of like, I don't know, messing about a little bit. You ever had someone come up and
You
do
get a
something a
lot
bit
of
cheeky?
annoying. Yeah, you do get a lot of people. I think like last year I was in Kukumara. There's kind of people you get into Kukumara though. Like it's a student bar.
Yeah.
You get people. You get like all kinds of people. This bloke came in and I didn't have this song that he requested, and he got like really angry at me. He's like tried to fight me. Like the
Really?
booth. I was like, mate, come on.
Yeah.
You get a lot of like a lot of drunk girls get quite angry.
Yeah.
I've found.
In
But
terms of what, like wanting to play certain songs?
yeah, like yeah. I think people would like handle alcohol differently and react
Yeah.
to it differently, and anyone can be anything when they're drunk.
How do you deal with that sort of like noise when you're
Sort of
DJing?
just block it out, or just ignore them.
Yeah.
Don't let it get to you. You don't want to ruin the night.
Yeah,
Everyone's
exactly.
in there
Yeah.
to have a good time, aren't they? At the end of the day,
What's your favourite song that you've made?
that I've made. I've got a at night edit on my SoundCloud, and yeah,
Yeah.
that one's my favorite.
I've heard of your songs because every time I see you put one on Instagram, I'll always go and give it a little listen.
What's your favorite of mine? If you had to pick, no pressure.
To be honest, I know it's maybe a bit of recency bias, but I do like Feel It. When I was playing, I like the start, like it's the proper unts at the start, bro. That gets you proper into it, bro. I love that sort of feeling.
Yeah, Feel It's a good song.
But what was the first song that kind of like kicked off and you were like buzzing, like wow, like this is showing me something here. Like I can actually get a song which can get a few listeners going.
When I first started out, I'm not really proud of it, so it's not really my sound anymore. But when I was 17, I released a drum and bass remix of Sam Smith, La La La, that song, and it's done like weirdly really well on SoundCloud. It's on like
500,000.
Yeah, it's got like 500,000 or something, and it's one of them. I made it when I was like young, and it wasn't to the best of my ability at all. But I'm proud of it. Like it's done well, but. Yeah, that song's definitely my best. It's annoying because it's like my least favourite.
Yeah,
it's done the best.
Yeah, you often hear that sometimes, isn't it? Like something that kind of. I remember hearing like
a lot of producers have that.
Yeah, like Juice WRLD didn't like What's his most popular song, bro? Lucid
Oh,
Dreams. He didn't
yeah,
like his own song
yeah,
because you move on.
yeah. Well, as a producer as well, you've made it. Obviously, you've
Yeah.
heard it a million times. By the time you release it, you're like, oh, I'm sick of hearing it. But I'm sick of hearing Feel It. Sorry. Like, obviously, it takes you like weeks, months even to like make a song.
Yeah.
Like, you can keep going at it. And obviously, you're hearing it on repeat because you're obviously making it. Like, you're hearing it on repeat hours and end for weeks, months, like I said. So by the time it's released, then you released it, you're just like,
Speak to me about that process because I was going to ask you that question actually, and you reminded me. Like making a song, how long does it take? Because you just said it takes months and months. So
it
what
can.
is that? It can. What
Yeah.
is that sort of process of making a song? Speak me through that.
It depends what mood you're in. Like, sometimes I've made a song in like 20 minutes. You can make a song and it'll be ready next week. But I've had songs. Well, I'm releasing a song next on Thursday, and that's been in the works for like a year. Like I made it a year ago, and I picked up the file like a month ago and
Yeah.
started working on it again. And I'm like, oh, it's actually quite nice. I quite like it. So I'm releasing that on Thursday. But yeah, it can honestly take you. There's no time limit on it. Like it can take you an hour, sometimes 20
Yeah.
minutes, or it can take you months, a year.
Shout out where your song's going to be.
It's gonna be on SoundCloud Thursday.
At
Be
what
there.
time?
Just midnight.
Okay,
As soon as it
midnight.
hits Thursday, out.
We'll
Move your
put it on the
body
Instagram,
on
so
Monday.
it will be there. But when you were working at Mackey's, because you said you had a part-time job, 16
Yeah,
to 19, was that more just to kind of get a bit of money to go by? But
yeah,
what?
that was just money.
Yeah, so that was just money. But
Yeah,
how did you then kind of? Because there'll probably be some people who are working a part-time job and they want to become a DJ.
yeah,
And obviously you stopped because you wanted to focus more on the music. And I'm not trying to get into your finance or anything, but
yeah.
what was that step from leaving that sort of income, that stable income from Mackey's to then just more focusing on the music? Do you know what I mean? What was that step
I
like?
wanted to focus more on university and yeah, music as well. But I was earning money from Kukumara, and I was like, yo, I can earn enough to get by at uni with just my Kukumara wage. And I was like, yeah, I don't need to be earning that. There's no need for me to be going because I was living in town at the time. I was living in Nottingham, and I worked at Chilwell McDonald's, so it would be a bit faff.
Yeah.
Whereas Kukumara, I could just walk there, like a 5 minute walk from my accommodation at the time. But yeah, I didn't feel like I didn't need to put all that pressure on myself, and I could have been using that time I was working at McDonald's to be focused on my degree and music. That's kind of like what I want to do.
What are you
Yeah,
doing your dissertation on?
I'm doing my dissertation on a like how if I could make a piece of music that can influence or motivate someone, basically like sort of monitor. I've done the experiment recently. I did a Google Forms.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah, yeah, totally. I appreciate it. But yeah, it was just like making a piece of music to see if it can influence or boost motivation levels.
Is there any reason you've done that? Or any certain interest to why you picked that?
Um, not really. No, I just thought I find it interesting, like how music can influence the brain. I've found that fascinating. So yeah, I thought I'd do a dissertation on it. It's a bit of psychology as well, which is
Yeah,
quite cool. My
yeah, man.
mum's a counsellor, so I find it quite interesting. My mum can help. My mum's helped me out a lot with it, and my dad. So yeah,
Yeah, brilliant. So
yeah,
once you've kind of finished with your third year,
yeah.
what's your next steps after finishing uni?
But I've not really, to be fair, I've not really thought about it. I think obviously I break up at the end of May, and I'm just going to work just a full-time job, anything over the summer, and then by September I've been applying for apprenticeships at the BBC.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mint.
so yeah, hopefully I get something at the BBC, but I definitely want to be doing something in the industry.
Yeah,
Thing is, with my course, they don't really give you much like direction to where you can work. They sort of like, yeah, they just do the course. There's no like careers meetings or anything
yeah.
like that. It's a bit rubbish, but yeah, I've been looking at BBC apprenticeships and jobs, so I'm gonna be hopefully by September working in the industry.
Nice, man. And even if you're not, bro, like you've got this experience you're doing
Yeah,
right
I'll
now.
never stop doing it. I'll always do it, no
Yeah.
matter what. Whenever if I make it or not, I'll always do it because I love doing it. I love making music. I love DJing. So I'll never stop, regardless if I make it.
What are the ingredients you think kind of make DJ
Like
Akonite?
fuel it.
Yeah,
It's the creativity. I think that's a major ingredient. It's the love, it's passion, it's drive. You got to sort of think as well, like you're doing this because you enjoy doing it. You
yeah.
shouldn't worry about what other people think. Just pride. That's another big
Have you
ingredient.
struggled with that at all? Like how people think about what you're doing?
When I first started out, I got a lot of stick for it, and obviously I changed. I took the leap, and I made my Instagram Aconite. Like it used to be J Dean, like just my
Yeah,
normal Instagram, but I took the leap, and like I sort of wanted to take it a bit more serious and yeah, maybe dedicate my Instagram and my TikTok to my music. And yeah, I did get a lot of like my mates were, oh, what's this? Yeah,
Yeah.
what are you doing? But no, they're really supportive of it now. But obviously, I was young. I was like 16, 17. Like, at
It's
that
always going to
age.
happen.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
always happens,
But
man.
you just got to think that you shouldn't care. You shouldn't care what people think. As long as you're doing what you love, you should be fine.
Yeah, I love that, man.
Yeah.
So, where did the name Akonite come from?
Oh, I was just looking at random names, and it turns out aconite's a flower, but it's spelt with a C. It's a poisonous flower, and then I replaced it with a K.
Is there any meaning
No,
behind that
no, not
poisonous
at all.
flower?
No, not at all, mate. I thought it looked cool. I was like, yeah, go on.
But maybe one day that could be your symbol, bro.
Yeah,
That flower.
yeah,
Make a
maybe.
clothing brand with that flower on it.
Yeah, I have to make a logo.
But coming in towards the sort of end of the pod, brother, what would you say are 3 key things that you've learned so far on your journey? I know you've spoke about the love,
Yeah,
but what are sort of 3 key takeaways from your journey so far?
I think what I said, just don't bother, don't care what people think about you. Just sort of remember why you're doing it. Once again, for the love, just do what makes you happy. Express yourself. Just be yourself. Don't try and be anything you're not. And yeah, just be a friendly person. I think that's with the industry that I'm in. You've got to be really friendly. If you're an idiot, you're a bit cocky and whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to get you anywhere, and you're going to get a bit of a reputation. But yeah, just be yourself and yeah, express yourself and do what you love.
What's been your favourite DJ experiencing so far? Out of all the experience you've had, what's one kind of set which maybe comes to mind as been the one you've enjoyed the most?
I did an all night session with Philip George at Kaluna in August, and that was probably my
So that one last summer with Philip George is probably your
yeah
highlight so far.
yeah.
How long's an all-night session?
We did like 8 till 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah.
What's it like when you're doing a big set like that? How do you keep yourself going?
To be fair, you're in like a massive, like loud environment. You're always going to be awake and
Yeah.
alert, and obviously had a few drinks as well. But yeah, I think 'cause it's so loud, you're in front of people.
It's tough getting to sleep after that.
Yeah, yeah, you can come out and your ears are like ringing. It's tough sometimes.
What's like for the final question,
Yeah.
brother? And it's been great to hear your sort of journey so far. It's been nice to hear the things which have ticked for you, worked for you, the events you've done.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the future? What's fueling this drive? What is the sort of end goal in a way? Where would you like to take this DJing journey?
Mate, ideally it'd be like DJ in Ibiza, but yeah, that's the aim. Just become like someone like Stussy, just be that big. But I'm just gonna keep at it. If I don't make it, I'll keep doing it, like I said. But yeah, the end goal is definitely like Stussy level, sort of DJing Ibiza all around the world. Yeah,
Brilliant.
that's the end goal.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the listeners where people can find you.
So on social media, on TikTok and Instagram, it's just akonite.uk. That's it.
Brilliant. Well, smash it,
Lovely,
mate.
nice
Brilliant.
one.
That was good, man.
Right all night. Feel so right.